That night I spoke to both of them. I said, do you realise how serious this is? And he was still blowing it off. He said, it's nothing to worry about. I said, it's got everything to worry about. He said, it's been ages since it happened. And I said, but you didn't tell Carla. Why didn't you tell Carla? And he gave all these lame excuses of he wanted to start a new life, he wanted a family, he thought he'd learned and he thought he'd moved on. I left it overnight and I waited for Carla to go to work the next day, and then I called her when she was going to work and I said to her, I need to talk to you seriously. And she was like, well, what am I supposed to do? I've got nowhere to go. And I'm like, no, you've got everywhere to go. You can come home. I think she felt like she was defeated coming back home, but she could see sense in it because I kept saying to her, if you stay with him for a day longer to them is a day longer of you not accepting and making safe choices for you and the baby. On the Tuesday night, I called him again and I started to talk to her and him, and I said to him, you know that she's got to leave. You know that she can't stay with you. You know that while this process is going on, she's got to leave you and you've got to be living separate. I knew that she had to go permanently, but I had to cajole him because I had to get Carla out of there in one piece with all her belongings and all her life. She'd moved in with him, lock, stock and barrel, but he still didn't get it. So I just smiled and said, I'll talk to you in the morning, Carla. But then she walked off and we carried on talking. And I said, you need to pack your stuff and I'll be there tomorrow and I'll pick you up. Don't do anything tonight because I don't want to rattle him. I want to get you out of the house with all your belongings and safely. Let him go to work in the morning and I'll come and get you. And she went, yes, Mum. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You should have took her there and then. But I felt that she was safe enough to stay overnight. He knew his number was nearly up. I don't think she slept very much that night. The next morning, when I got there, she looked really tired. We proceeded to pack everything away. We got it all in the car and I managed to move her, and she just left him. When he realised that she'd left, she'd called and said, I can't find my baby photos. Can you find them? I think they're in the cupboard. He said, I'll go and have a look. But then he come back and he said, they're not there. But Carla was 100% sure that they were there. So we waited another day and we went back to the flat, and lo and behold, he'd been lying. He'd stolen them. So she managed to get them back and then she posted his key through the door. Sadly, he was still convinced in his head that after all this process was going to be over, he was going to end up being with Carla and him bringing up the baby. He wasn't going to be doing that. And we went through the process. Keep watching. There's more.